Thank you for allowing me to come on this platform and share something with all of you on this particular topic of gratitude. This particular topic is a very vast topic. Can you hear me, Prabhuji? Gopal Govind Prabhu? Okay. So this is a very vast topic, and 1 hour, what to speak of, 1 hour. Sometimes even of one full day will be less for this particular topic to be shared. But whatever I am sharing is out of whatever I've observed and understood. So that's what I am going to do with you and share this. As one senior Vaishnava mentioned, that gratitude is a way of life. If you understand this statement, one realizes that he cannot escape this particular aspect in his day-to-day life. At every moment of our existence, we are grateful to someone or the other in our life. You cannot avoid that, of being grateful to the things that we are getting in our life, to the people who are contributing in our life. When you say thank you, the thank you is such a two-word sentence which brings about so much of positiveness in the relationship. A grateful heart, it is mentioned, is a magnet for many miracles which can take place in our life. So it is said that one needs to be thankful for what you have. If you do that, then you'll end up receiving more. At the same time, if you are not thankful, or if you're not grateful for what you are getting, you will never receive much. You will not receive enough. I just will give a example. Very nice. It will throw light on this particular subject. In one of our classes, which is Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj, this is about 30 years back when he made this statement, and then he had a whole class on this. He said that, do you know that to get one chapati on your plate, the entire universe is working for it. The entire universe is working just to get one roti or one chapati on your plate. So then he went on explaining how. He said that the sun, the rain god, this natural contribution is necessary, the earth, to produce food grains for all of us. Without the earth, without the sun, without the rains, without a proper environment, one cannot produce grains. So that's one contribution. Then when the grains, who sows the grains? The farmer. The farmer sows the grain. And then he waits for the right environment. The grains, they sprout into small saplings, then it just grows into maybe like a rice paddy or a wheat paddy, whatever, and then it's harvested. And once it is harvested, for harvesting also you need what? You need maybe bullocks, or you need a tractor. Somebody has to make that tractor, right? It doesn't just come automatically. it is manufactured in the factory, right? So after harvesting, then this is taken to a place where it can be sold. Now, to be taken to a place where it is be sold, you need to have a vehicle. As I said, the tractor is also necessary. You have a vehicle. Now, vehicle, to manufacture the vehicle, there is a tire industry, there is a metal industry, there is a wooden industry, right? So there's a fuel industry, right? All these industries are necessary. Then to have a good road, then there's a tar industry. For making good roads, you need so many other uh, you know things that you need to have, and then that is transported to a distant place, right? So you need to have someone to drive across to a distant place. Then it goes to different states, different towns, to different cities. So it goes to different people, it goes to different establishments. Ultimately it comes to a wholesale market. From the wholesale market, then it comes to a retail market. From the retailers, then you buy, it gets packed, or packaging industry is there. Then you go and buy. Then you have flour mill, where you just convert the rice or wheat or jawar, whatever, into a flour. It's a flour mill is there, right? So all the things necessary to have a flour mill, and then afterwards you get it home. Then if it's a wheat flour, then you make a dough out of it, and then afterwards you have to make a on a plate. You just make into a roti, flatten it out and make it a roti and put it on a tawa. You have a gas, and then afterwards you offer it to the Lord, and after it's offered to the Lord as Mahaprasad, you get it on a plate. So if you see like this, then you understand that so many people are working so that you get one chapati on your plate. It's not possible just like that. So are we really acknowledging the fact that all these people, all these things are actually contributing in your life? We are talking about the principle of das, das, dasanudas. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So if you see like this, then all these people are actually in the mood of servant of the servant of the servant of servant, serving you to have one plate, one chapati on your plate, right? So are we acknowledging that? Are we remembering that? Once we were in a yatra to Udupi, and the people were put up in some hotels which was almost like about 10 minutes drive, and the only way you could go is that either walk down for about half of an hour to the pandal where the program would be there, or else take a rickshaw and go there. But the rickshaws would charge us 100 rupees for one trip. Obviously they would take advantage of it because so many people were there, and then that's the only time they could make money, so they would demand 100 rupees, because otherwise there's no other public transport over there. You have to either otherwise walk or catch a rickshaw and go. So once somebody was charging 200 rupees. So then one devotee said, oh, this is cheating, they are looting us. So I was just thinking around. I said, okay, they may be looting us, fine. Supposing if there is no rickshawala to transport you from here to there, what would you do? You have to just walk down, right? Even if you have crores of rupees in your pocket, if there are no rickshaws, What is the value of that money? You still will have to walk, right? So that particular value of the money is irrelevant. So one, at least be grateful that there is someone there to take you from this place to that place, right? He may charge you maybe 200 rupees, but are you grateful for the other aspect that he is at least taking from here to there? Are we grateful for the, transport that we actually take advantage of? We travel from Bombay to maybe New Jersey. Are we grateful to the airplane industry, that they're taking from here to there? If not for that, probably I would take months and months to reach, right, to New Jersey. I may not even reach also. It is such a tedious journey. Probably I would not even attempt to do that. But because there is something, a plane which will fly me from here to there, takes 15 hours or 16 hours. And am I grateful for that? Do I remember that? Do I acknowledge that fact? Do I in my mind say thank you, for what I am receiving or what services I'm getting? So this particular aspect, gratitude, in Sanskrit is called kritagya. Kritagya means remembering the kind deeds that somebody has done. Krita and gya. Krita is the service or the work, and gya is the knowledge. So knowledge, of what somebody has done, or remembering what somebody has done in a life. So that is what is called as a kritagya. So it is said that somebody may be having wisdom, but somebody may be wise. But wisdom without gratitude is considered arrogance. I may be a very intelligent person. I may be a very big person. I may be a very influential person. But if I don't remember this aspect of contributions of people in your life, then you are arrogant. What I am right now, at this moment of my life is because of the contribution of so many people in my life. Contribution of my parents while they were young, while I was young. Contribution of my friends because they made me grow. Contribution of my teachers in the school. Contribution of my teachers in the college, in my profession. Contribution of my fellow colleagues who helped me to experience, gain so much of knowledge and maturity. And contribution of my patients, because I'm a dentist. I thank my patients because if they're not there, then I will not be able to express my services, or I'll not be able to contribute in this way. Right? Even Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, right? They're odarya, those who are in distress, those who are jnanis, those who want some artha, finance, they all come to me and I'm grateful to them because they are coming to him. Krishna is able to express his audarya bhav to these people. Just like somebody says that, I am a dani, I am a, charity giver, I give charities. But unless until somebody is there to receive, how can he be called as a donor? How can we be called as a person who gives charity? So from each point of view, if you see, this particular aspect of kritagya is important. That's why I said gratitude is a way of life. So it is mentioned that gratitude has the power to settle the unsettled karmas of the past with others. So this is something to ponder upon. It has, I repeat again, it has a power to settle the unsettled karma of the past with others. When you remember someone, even in your mind also, somebody who has done something for you, that sends a positive energy to that person. And when you send a positive energy to that person, it just releases all, or it just, gives away all the negative energies that are there, which has been blocked because of our not remembering those personalities. If you are remembering someone in your life, that means that person has contributed something in your life. That's the reason you are remembering them, isn't it? If not, then probably you would not remember. Right? The very reason that you are remembering that person or whoever you are remembering in your life, that means that person has contributed in your life, right? So if you have some grudges against someone, or if you have some differences, by just remembering a person, by thanking that person for whatever he has done for you in the past, whatever he has contributed in your life in your past, then that releases unlimited energy. It brings about, a positive vibes and enhances the relationship, even though it may be on a subtle platform. Give you an example for this. Like supposing I'm invited to somebody's house, okay, for a lunch, prasad. And then after lunch prasad, you know, I don't even express anything that, whether the lunch prasad was good or not, whether it was tasty or not, you know, I just eat. I just even don't talk about it, and I just go out. So what will happen, that the host will all the time will think that whether did he like it, was he happy with it, he never expressed anything, you know what is it, so it will always be there in the mind of that person, you know what may be there in that, whether did he like or did he appreciate, or whether did I cook properly or not. So many things may happen in his mind, the host, in the mind of the host, right? Or the other way, I say, okay, this is not good, you know you're not cooked well. If I say that also, it will bring about a lot of guilt feeling in the host's mind, or it may bring about, a feeling of depression, feeling sad. All those negative emotions will be there. But one thought, you just honor prasad and say, thank you very much for a very wonderful prasad. I'm so happy. It was so tasty. Took so much of trouble to cook this prasad. If I even express like this and say, thank you, I loved it, I enjoyed it, one sentence maybe that brings about so much of happiness in the other person. The other person feels so comfortable. The other person feels so nice, so happy about it, right? So this is what happens. And what happens in that? The relationship is enhanced, right? The person feels nice about you. I feel nice about that person. Okay, that person has done something. And the relation increases. The relation improves, right? So in order to bring about closeness in the relationship, gratitude or remembering is one of the most important aspects in our life. We have Mangalarti. Srila Prabhupada introduced the morning program for all of us. What is this morning program actually? The morning program is nothing but expressing our gratitude to our Guru right in the beginning. Right? When we chant the Sansaradava prayers, we actually express our gratitude to Guru. We remember our spiritual master. We express our gratitude. We glorify our spiritual master. We actually mean what we say. Right? I actually keep my spiritual master's words in my heart, and then I am expressing my gratitude by chanting this Guru Ashtakam. And after that, We just have the Prem Dhvani prayers. Prem Dhvani is nothing but Jai, Jai. You just remember all the personalities, right? After that, we chant the Narsimha prayers. Narsimha prayer is nothing but we remember the Lord in this form, and then we beg for protection for our Guru, for the Acharyas, for all the devotees who are in this moment. All of us, we pray for our protection. We remember the Lord. Then we have Tulsi Aarti. What is Tulsi Aarti? Just remembering Tulsi Devi's greatness, Tulsi Devi's contribution in our life. Even if you understand, you try to remember the words that we're chanting while offering Aarti to Tulsi. We understand how great Tulsi Maran is, how she is a Krishna Bhakti Pradayini, how she gives bhakti to us. So even if you just remember this aspect, naturally that feeling of gratitude will be there in our heart, which will come. After that, we just remember the 10 offenses of the holy name. We just then offer our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas of the Lord, who are just like desire trees, can fulfill the desires of all living entities, full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. We chant all this, right? So we are actually great, remembering the devotees who are helping us, who are inspiring us in our lives. Then we sit to chant. And when we sit to chant, we again express a gratitude to our spiritual master because we are given this particular mantra for chanting. We remember Lord Chaitanya. He has given this Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. He has given this holy name for us to chant. It's Golokera Premadhana. It's not available for anyone in other yugas. I am getting it. Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana. This particular chanting, I chant this mantra, I get this opportunity to chant the holy names, all by the mercy of my spiritual master, all by the mercy of my Shiksha Gurus. So we just chant, sit and chant. Then we sit for Bhagavatam class. Even in Bhagavatam class, we just hear the glories of the Lord and his devotees through those classes. We hear the realizations of the Vaishnavas through those classes, which will nourish us, which will encourage us, inspire us to move forward in our life. So we become grateful to them. We honor Prasad, right? So we are grateful. Say Annam Rita Pao Radha Krishna Gunagao. So we just glorify that. So if you see, the entire morning program that we have is nothing but an expression of gratitude. Remembering the contributions of different people at different times in our lives. And every day remembering them, every day remembering these personalities, right? That is what is a morning program. So it is mentioned even in the scriptures we see, Lord Brahma in the 10th canto, 14th chapter, Tatenu Kampam Sushamikshamano, Punjano Evatma Kritam Vibhagam, Ridvar Purvi Dida Namaste Jivite Mukti Padesaya. Tate Anukampam, Lord Brahma remembers the special mercy that the Lord is giving. And he says, Ritvag Bapuri Vidha Namaste. I just offer my obeisances from my heart with my words. Vidha Namaste. Jiviti Mukti Padesaya. So he says, I could have suffered so much, but then I'm getting a little bit of, only little reaction, right? I'm grateful to you. So this is the Acharya of our Sampradaya who is speaking about it, who is expressing his gratitude. So the wonderful prayers we hear in the Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but an expression of gratitude. You just glorify the Lord for what he has done in your life. Forget to glorify the Lord himself. Lord himself, is performing certain activities, which expresses this gratitude, aspect of gratitude. Just to name one or two examples, when Lord Ramchandra was here, he actually performed the last rites for Jatayu for the service that he had rendered for him. What was Jatayu actually? Jatayu is a vulture, not a very beautiful creature also. But because he helped fight with Ravan for getting Sita back, he could not, he knew that, but then he fought and ultimately he lost. His wings were cut. So from the material point of view, he was a failure. But what did Ram do? Ram did not see that failure. Ram saw the service that was rendered by Jatayu. And then he himself performed the last rite. Lord Ram actually expressed his gratitude to all the monkeys that had helped him in the war with Ravana. When he was coming back to Ayodhya, he got everyone, all the Vanasenas back. It's not that, like he just left them and he went alone. No, he just got everyone back over here to Lanka. I'm just naming some few things. I'm just saying that every aspect of Lord Ram was an expression of gratitude. When Dashrath was given the boot, when Dashrath was asked by Kaikeyi that Ram should go to the forest, he never expressed any pain in his heart. He said, it's my fortune. He tells Lakshman that it's my fortune that I'm going to the forest. I'm given an opportunity to go to the forest. By this, I can meet so many sages, which I would not have met if I was in the, kingdom, right? And that's what happened, right? Because of this thinking pattern, he developed relation with so many people. He had relation with Maharaj Kuha. He made friends with Sugriva. He met his devotee Hanuman. Then he met Vibhishan. So it is said that one Acharya is saying from the Shri Sampradaya, he gathered all his friends when he went to the forest. But the aspect of being grateful, he said that it's my fortune to serve. In fact, he told Kaikeyi that, you should have told me directly. There's no problem, I would have gone. And it was not out of grudge. Happily he went. And he never had even an iota of doubt in Bharat Maharaj. He was trying to remind Lakshman that Lakshman, don't be upset with him. Don't be angry with him. Bharat was coming with the Sena to Chitrakoot. Bharat Maharaj, Lakshman was thinking that he has come to attack. Ram said, no, he is my soul. Just as you are very dear to me, he is also very dear to me. And that is my relation. He is my brother. And because he's my brother, I am very grateful to him because he has that, I have a relation with him. So this is what Lord Ramchandra did. So many instances are there in Prabhu Ramchandra's life. If you see in the pastimes of Lord Krishna over here, Lord Krishna also, he was grateful to the Pandavas, and for all that the Pandavas were doing for him, remembering attitude aspect, so reciprocation was there from his side. He went along with along with the Pandavas to perform the last rites of Duryodhana. Why? Because he considered to be, Duryodhana to be one of the relatives of the Pandavas. And because they are connected to Pandavas, he felt it is a duty for him also to be attending that. So he attended the funeral rites of Duryodhana. He is the one who went as a Shanti Dut, peace messenger on behalf of Pandavas, right? To the Kauravas to at least request them to give 5 villages for them to rule, or 5 places for them to rule. Why? Out of gratitude to them. Reciprocation. You know, Krishna reciprocated with whatever the person contributed. Kubja wanted to serve Krishna, Krishna reciprocated. Krishna remembered each and every aspect, or Krishna remembers whatever we do for him. You just remember him and he'll remember you. That's what is the Lord. No, he doesn't forget even the smallest contribution that a devotee is doing in his life. One Vedanta Desika, one great personality, he mentions a very nice point. He just saying that Krishna is Pratamanjali. Pratamanjali means the first. This is Pratamanjali Kinkara. So Vedanta says, with folded hands, if you go to the Lord, his heart melts, and he says, and becomes obliged to his servants. So even if you just go with folded hands to the Lord and say, okay, I am nothing, please, accept me, and Krishna accepts. When Vibhishan came and wanted to take shelter of Lord Ram asked everyone. He said, tell, what should be done with Vibhishan? So Sugriva said, no, he's a spy, he may be a spy, he should not. Somebody said something. And then Hanuman was asked. Hanuman said, my dear, you are the master, you can decide whatever you want to do, you can give the mercy to him. And I feel that because he has come here, you can, you can give him your mercy. So Lord Ram, he said that, before Hanuman spoke, Lord Ram said that all of you thinking from your point of view, but you're not understanding what is my disposition. Nobody is speaking from my point of view. What is my disposition? And then he makes the famous statement. He says, even if somebody comes, if Ravana comes right now and says, I want to surrender to you, I will accept it. Even after he has done so much. But if he comes now and he says, I take shelter of you, I will forgive him. So Ram was still hoping that Ravan will come and take shelter, even after doing so much. That's the disposition of the Lord, that he is ready to forgive anyone. He is ready to, forget whatever the person has done in the past. Why? For one purpose. And if a person takes shelter, then he only remembers that. Okay, this person has taken shelter. No, I will give him my mercy. So this is what happens, when we surrender to the Lord. Arjun also was like that. The difference between Karna and Arjun was what? Karna, yes, he just did everything, but it was for a wrong person, for a wrong thing, and it was counterproductive. Arjun, when he fought with Bhishma also, he was shooting arrows, but in his heart, he was expressing immense gratitude to Bhishma Dev for all that he has done for him, raised him, to that level. So he was remembering Bhishma while he was shooting arrows. It was like tears in his eye, he was shooting arrows. So externally, he was doing the kartavya of a Kshatriya to establish dharma on the order and advice of request of Krishna, but in his heart of heart, he was expressing gratitude to Krishna. So that is the way that sensitivity to that aspect, at the same time externally performing the services. So this is what the great personalities do. So when you do that, what happens is that, when you remember, the same obligation becomes gratitude. That I have to becomes I want to. So when you remember some person done something in your life, contributed to your life, then what you want to do? You want to naturally want to reciprocate. I want to serve him. I want to do something for him. That will come naturally. Then it doesn't become a force. Oh, I have to do it. I have to is something which is very burdensome. Sometimes you may not do also. But I want to comes naturally. So obligation becomes kritagya. Then you don't, then you're you're no more obliged to anything. Then what the rina becomes a kritagya. That's the service that you do. Right? When you're talking about Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, Apta, Pitrinam. So all these are your rini. Na kinkaro nayam rinicha rajan sarvatmanam sharanam makato mukundam pariharta karto. When one surrenders, you don't have to. But when you remember all these personalities, their contribution in life, the Devatas, the Rishikans have given us all the scriptures. Bhuta, Aptama, friends, the living entities, they contribute in life. The Pitris. What is the mention? What is the meaning of Shraddha? Shraddha is nothing but remembering your forefathers' contribution in your life. Once in a year you perform. When you don't perform, you are actually arrogant. You are not acknowledging those personalities' contribution in life. So Shraddha is nothing but on a particular day of their disappearance, we just express our gratitude to all these personalities who have in your life. They have given us a body, they have given us a culture, the parampara. We're all grateful to them. So I made an acronym just to conclude. I'll just share with you. So gratitude, GRATITUD, remembrance. So gratitude brings about great feelings. That's G first. So when you are expressing gratitude, it's less burdensome, right? You feel nice also. When you think somebody is positive about somebody, when you think good about somebody, it gives you good feelings. It doesn't bring about negative emotion. It brings about strong positive vibes, strong positive emotions. So gratitude G, brings about great feelings. Gratitude R, the R relief from the great burden that we carry. Sometimes having a grudge against someone, we carry that burden. For what purpose? We have some moments of life to live, and then having a grudge against someone because we have our ego, and what cost, right? But then if you just, remember them, it brings about relief from that burden. A stands for acknowledgement of that person's contribution. So gratitude brings about, acknowledgement of that person's contribution in life. You'll never forget. Once one disciple approached his spiritual master, he said, this person contributed every year, and he promised to contribute this year also, and a big chunk he promised to contribute in Janmashtami. And he backed out on his words. So we are all upset because we had so much of plans and this and that, and so he was really upset. He was really disturbed with the whole thing. And his spiritual master said, please be grateful for what he has contributed for all these years. For some reason, he may not have contributed this year. For some reason, we don't know. but please be grateful. All these years he has contributed. So thank him for that. Thank him for contributing. So then the disciple really was shaken. He said, oh my goodness, what am I thinking now? So then he started, thinking in a positive way. So acknowledgement of the person's contribution. T stands for transformation of our consciousness or heart. When we always feel grateful, when we always thank, it always will bring about the transformation of heart. Our consciousness will be transformed. So T stands for that. I stands for internal growth of oneself. So when we are having negative thoughts, negative energies, they bring us down. They just, totally suck your existence and energy. But when you are grateful, you have that internal growth. You grow from inside. Spiritually, you grow. Internally, you grow. Externally, also you grow. So that growth is there, internal growth. T stands for transcendence of our feelings and tolerance. So when somebody says something to you, somebody, ridicules you for what you have not done, or your good friend sometimes behaves badly with you, instead of, reacting, you just remember that person's contribution in your life. And then what will happen externally, it will, manifest in the form of either tolerance or the manifestation form of transcendence, right? U stands for undo or uncover the past misgivings or misunderstandings. So as I was mentioning, that it has a power to settle the unsettled karmas of the past. So whenever you express your gratitude, if you have some grudge, just say that, sorry, Prabhu, I remember whatever you have done to me. I am so grateful for what you have contributed in my life in all these years. So for whatever reasons it may be, but I just want to, even though we may not have the relation, but I want to express my feelings to you. So if you say that also, it may not melt the heart of the person immediately, but at least it will make the person think about it, and maybe it may bring about transformation in the person also. So uncover the past misgivings. D stands for deep, emotional relationships which are established by expressing our gratitude. Deep emotions with others, deep relationships with others are established. And E is, empowerment to do something great. You are encouraged or you are empowered by the Lord to do something great. When you are grateful to what you are getting, the Lord will empower you to do more. He'll give more facilities because he knows that you are grateful. Just like a man has two sons, and one son is always grateful for the person. He has his big business, supposing, and is always grateful. Thank you, Papa, for everything. Thank you, Papa, for this. Thank you, Papa, for that. Thank you for this. So, and the other person is the opposite. He may not. So, whom do you think the father will give his business? The father will give more, power or more authority to the person who is in that consciousness of expressing his gratitude. So, similarly, when you express gratitude, the Lord empowers you to do more and more and more. So, it is said in the end, to give is to love. We only take to share and not to keep. So it is said that, we take something, but we take to share, and to give is to love. And that is only possible when you have that element of gratitude in your heart. Many more things to speak about, but this is what I want to share with you for today. Hare Krishna.
Who has any question, please raise your hand or write from the chat room and we can go.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for the wonderful session. Really, like it's really very deep thought that realizing that actually we are being served in so many ways, and that actually makes us really humble. We are so much dependent, and recalling, seeing that, oh my God, like this, all these people that even I don't know, or I might even know them, but understanding the impact of these people in my life to be the one I am is really something, like to be humble. Like, I have this quality, I've developed this quality. It's not actually me. There's so many people behind me. That's really struck in this heart. And the quality of Lord Ram, actually, you mentioned that, Lord Ramachandra is willing really, like, to not remember all the bad things he has done. Just to remember that this person actually came and begged forgiveness. That's really quality, something a person to develop, like, really, really, very, very deep thoughts that you put it in, and really make me like think that, whatever something happens in my life or something, like the perspective of seeing things should be different and will be different. Hopefully, like, I can develop those qualities. And just wanted to ask, like, as we talk about this grateful heart, being grateful for someone, but as is natural for us, like, again, that it's very easy to forget, right? Because this mode or something, like, the I kind of consciousness come in between. Like, even my children, for example, like, they're not doing something, like, hey, you try to be the person, you forget, like, they actually, in different aspect, how we have to deal, seeing that perspective. So how can I constantly remember, be grateful, like, like in morning prayers, like, like as you were saying, like, for Guru Parampara, we are actually trying to be grateful for them. There's so many things they have done to us, and we don't see direct impact, but you see now with this chain of disciple success where we are, and we are connected to Sri Prabhupada in this con moment. But how we can constantly remember, and also, like, put that effort in that service also. Like, I also need to give back, right, with that effort.
Okay, it comes, constant remembrance and constantly trying to take cognizance of the fact of this, different people's contribution. Externally, probably we may have to do what is necessary for us to do, but internally we always remember one thing, that okay, I am, as you said rightly, that I am right now because of so many people's contribution in life. So it comes on a regular practice, Prabhuji, in a sense. Many times what happens, we just think that oh, I deserve this, I deserve this privilege, or I deserve this particular facility. No, we don't deserve them. We just are in the mere servants. Actually, we don't deserve any of these things, if you see like this. But because of a false ego, we think I deserve this. So moment you think like this, then the problems start. But if you consider, like for example, raising the children, I'm just giving you one example because your daughter is there right in front of you. I'm just saying, you will have to discipline her for what she is doing externally. But internally, you can always say that, my dear child, you're given an opportunity to, serve you in the capacity of a father. Otherwise, I would not have been able to do this, right? I would not have been able to do this as in a capacity of father to this role of doing this role. So I'm grateful to you. I'm been allowed to serve you in this way. So at the same time, you are connected, you are the property of the Lord, but you are in my custody, basically. So because you are in my custody, I need to do this for you. But I'm very grateful because you give me joy, you're giving me happiness here, you're allowing me to do some services for you. My role as a fatherhood is fulfilled by this. So internally, you can think about like this. So similarly, when you interact with anyone in this world, even in a temple, in a management, or in offices with the colleagues. Remember that, oh, if not for you, probably I would not be doing this. Even if you're employee, if you're a boss, the employee, because the employee is doing something, you are able to do something, right? Like one of my patients who is a wealthy businessman, he said, I have 20,000 people working for me. He says, I don't displease any one of them. I just give them the right salary at the right time. I also give them perks, during festivals. I just take care of their needs. I just take care of their medical necessities. Why? Because if they are not there, I will not be able to make so much of money. Because they're contributing in my life, I need to take care of them also. So like that, once you become sensitive to the things around, and slowly it will happen. It's just that, only we have to be cognizant. We should be aware about what's happening around us. And when you're aware about what's happening around us, then you will also remember them. You'll remember that, So it is said that, somebody mentioned, nice point. You can remember this, 5 parts of buddhi. Intelligence has 5 parts. First is what? Read, then reproduce, then raise doubts, reconcile, and remember. So how you remember? You read, then you reproduce, then you raise doubts, reconcile, and you remember. So similarly, it is said that only when you do this, then only you can remember. So this is from the point of view of book, but in our understanding also, the one of the part of intelligence is to be grateful. What does that mean? That means try to understand the person, try to see what that person is doing in my life, try to sensitize yourself to that situation. And then when you remember all these things, when you go through all these things, then naturally you will remember the person for a longer time. In other words, being aware at every moment of what people are contributing. If you take people for granted, or if you take things for granted, then you'll not remember. Most of the time we take things for granted. Then there's a problem. Then there's the element of gratitude may not come. But if you just take everything seriously, like for example, like the services, if you are given in the temple, and we say, okay, I am the privileged one. No, but if you think that, oh, I've been given this opportunity to serve by this person, he has given me this opportunity to serve. My spiritual master has given this opportunity. My Diksha Guru, my Pratprasha Guru has given me this opportunity to come in contact with the devotees. My Shiksha Guru is nourishing me with all this wonderful information and encouragement, inspiration. My Diksha Guru has connected me to the Parampara. So remembering all these things also brings about that feeling of gratitude in your heart. So externally we may do different services, but internally we have to remember that, yes, let's say I was giving an example of Arjun. Arjun was shooting arrows, but internally he was remembering Bhishma's contribution. So externally you may chastise your child, but internally you remember that, okay, she is a person who is helping me to serve her and to do what is my duties. So like that. So just go on remembering project every now and then slowly you will come to that level. Then if you are grateful, then all the other qualities will come in heart. Being sensitive, being tolerant, being cooperative, being, submissive, all these qualities will naturally come.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Shraddha Mother, you have any question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. This was really very simple yet very soul stirring, at least for me. As you were, talking, just a list of people sprung up in my mind who I need to really go out and reach out and say at least thank you to. They might not have done do great things in terms of materialistic calculation, but I was just thinking that the very fact that they have been able to contribute to some positive moments in my life, that when I think of it, it just brings a smile in my heart or on my face, is worthy enough to at least reach out to them and say thank you to them. So Prabhuji, my question was that what if I'm not able to thank somebody in person? Like you were saying that when you just say thank you, it just drives away so much of negativity and brings in so much of positivity. What if for some reason I'm not able to express that gratitude to that person? For some reason I'm not able to trace that person, it's the distance, maybe the numbers change. How to deal with that situation?
I mentioned to Mataji in the class also, even if you think about a person positively, it brings about a positive vibes. You may not be able to meet the person, but if you just think about that person and then say, okay, please forgive me for whatever I have done to you, and I just want to just say sorry for this, and I'm very grateful for whatever done in my life. So even if you think about it like this, Mataji, it brings, on a subtle level, it just brings about the change in the other person. That will definitely, that is what that concept of Shraddha is there, na? So Shraddha, in that, when you offer your Shraddha to your ancestors, when you express this, it brings, it opens up the channels of positivity in your life, in your, most of the time our issues are because of not expressing gratitude. So whoever you feel, like just like I said, knowingly, unknowingly, if I committed some offenses, please forgive me, and then remember that person, remember the good thing that person has done, and then on the subtle level, Mataji, it will definitely work. It will definitely work.
That's a good relief, because I was just thinking that, yeah, long list of
and
people.
Even Mata, I forgot to tell you, even if somebody has done bad to you, somebody has behaved badly, even to think about that person also works. Why? Like, somebody is treated badly. So from that also you learn something, na? What do you learn? That, okay, this person he behaved badly with me, and what are the negative emotions I had? So I learned what? I should not behave badly with somebody else. Right? So isn't that a lesson that you learned from that person? So shouldn't you be grateful to that person for teaching you that lesson? So in that situation also you can teach, you can learn and thank him.
That's wonderful, Ru.
There is a vertical in Sri Sampradaya, there is this devotee called as Parashar Bhatt. He was told by spiritual master that every day you should go in front of Ranganath and then you should glorify Ranganath, and at the same time you should also speak about your bad qualities to Ranganath. So there was one person who was always envious of him. So whenever he would come and stand in front of Lord Ranganath and glorify, this person would just blast him, from behind. You are such a person, you are this and you are that, and you are this and you are that. Every day would do that. So Parashar Bhatt was all the time, very humble and very kind to him. And one day he invited him home and washed his feet and then served him. So this person said, what are you doing? I've been all the time blasting you, ridiculing you, and you are washing my feet. You are doing all these things. He had tears in his eyes. He said, no, actually what happened is that my spiritual master has given me this instruction that I should glorify Lord Ranganath. At the same time, I should also speak about what are the bad things in my heart. So I don't know what are the things in my heart, because I always think good about myself. But you are reminding me what are the things, the negative things in my heart. So I'm very happy that you reminded me what are the negatives I had, and then I'm able to offer to Lord, and so helping me to remember that. So I'm grateful to you. And then he said this. So this is how a devotee thinks. So even in that negative situation also, he is grateful to that person because learn something. Na? He learns something. Okay, this is how happens when somebody behaves with me. Okay, I learned a lesson that I should not behave with someone else because I know how it hurts. So I should not behave.
That was wonderful, Prabhuji. That it's just elevating to a different level of consciousness altogether.
Right.
And then there is no dvesh at all. Everybody is you're learning from everybody in absolute every situation. That was great, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And Prabhuji, one question: you just mentioned these 5 parts of intelligence. I got the first 4: read, reproduce, raise doubts, reconcile. I missed the last one.
Last is
Prabhuji.
remember. That's how you remember. Na?
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji, that
Only
makes
when
sense.
you do this, the last is remember. That's the reason it's only a person who has gone through these 4 stages will be able to remember.
Makes sense. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That was really a wonderful, wonderful class. Thank you so
Hare
much for your Sangha today. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Mati.
Gopal Govind Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
do you have your permission now to leave?